Top of the morning to everyone. Happy Monday. It's the last Monday of February. I don't mind at all. It has been a crazy month, and there's just been a lot going on in such a short span of time, and just a lot of things that have really just kind of put my life kind of back where it used to be 2 years ago. So I'm in the car today. Current temperatures outside started when I left the house at about 42 degrees. The car is now showing about 45, but I don't have Eleanor still. Just a little update on her in just a bit. So, as you know, I have a secondary bike, a Kawasaki Versys, but because it has no wind protection, it's a bit challenging to ride in that 42 degrees. I don't have electric hookups, and when I'm realizing how much work I have to get done in a single day because of just school and everything else, it's just sometimes, you don't want to, I'm not going to expend the extra energy just because I have to conserve as much as I can. So currently, Eleanor's in the shop still. What had happened was when I got myself when I dropped her off, the job before her was actually pretty extensive. It was a client with a complete engine rebuild, so there was nothing I could do about the time involved with that. So that's the reason why it's been taking so long. To my knowledge, and from what I've been told by my service department at Pacific Yamaha, is that all of the valves and everything, all of the parts have been ordered. It's just a matter of Uncle Robert getting started on it, and that's just kind of the way it is. So at the moment, I am, when it comes to motorcycles with a fairing, it's currently out of commission. I know for a fact, and I've done it before, and I've done it out of spite, and I've done it for other reasons, but I am capable of riding in this weather. However, when I think about tonight, and I think about, this is the one Monday per month during my spring 2018 semester that I have to be at Cal State Long Beach from 7 to 9 p.m., and then realizing that I'm doing this right after I come off of work, and that I still have other things that have to be completed before I go to class, I'm thinking, you know what, gotta conserve energy. And I think that's been kind of the message that's been given to me over February, is this idea that, it might not be a bad idea to just slow down just a little bit, because there's just a lot of stuff flying, a lot of stuff that I had to do and take care of. And I'm currently on the 405 South here. I decided to leave slightly earlier than I normally do in hopes that I can stop and get my coffee before I run into my school, because I'm going to need it today. Ended up not getting any coffee yesterday. I think that was a good thing, because I'm conserving my caffeine allowances to get through the Monday. So that's the current deal right now. It is getting a bit warmer. We're starting to get closer to temperatures that are a bit more, in California speak, tolerable for the morning. Because most mornings right now are starting anywhere between 42 and 46 degrees at 6:45 in the morning. It makes for an interesting time when you're on a motorcycle. I do have. And with cold weather, the things that we have to know about riding cold weather is, covering up any holes, making sure air doesn't go in, windproof material, thermals, that kind of thing. But, regardless of all of that, the kind of cold that we get out here is a wet kind of cold, and it's the worst. We're going out if you're in Las Vegas during this time of the year and you're, hanging around and doing whatever, Las Vegas, 40 degrees with a wind blowing, it feels like you could be outside with a t-shirt and nobody cares. And mainly because it's a very dry kind of cold. It doesn't have that extra weight of the moisture, adding that extra, the part that makes you feel chill to the bone. And that's the kind that we get out here because of the coast. So, yeah, sure, you can say, oh, 42, man, that's nothing. We wish we could have it that warm. I said, yeah, it feels worse than 42. And then, adding the wind chill factor, because never everything feels colder when you're not standing still. You throw in that you're going about 70 to 75 miles an hour on the freeway if you're lucky. And, that's what happens. Hi, Cam, how you doing? Yes, I am in my car today. I decided to drive. It's going to be a long day, so I decided. that the motorcycle might not be the best idea today. So I'm in my car. But hey, it's nice to have options. I'm grateful for that. And just have to kind of work around things. So yesterday was a bit weird. Saturday was a filming of the home opener for Peninsula High School's boys lacrosse team, and they were playing a team out of La Cañada called St. Francis. And usually in previous outings, the Peninsula boys lacrosse team usually does pretty well. They'll usually make a pretty good drubbing out of the team that they play for the first time in the season. But funny enough, and I was taping this one, and it was cold, and we were down in the 50s. It was about 55 degrees that day, and the wind was just hitting hard. Here I am outside with my camera. I can't feel my fingers. I don't have gloves on or anything like that. And Peninsula gets drubbed 10-5 in lacrosse. And so the following day, and while all this is going on, I'm trying to process this video and coming across multiple errors on my computer, which there was a story behind that. Peninsula coach gets all desperate, and he's asking for the footage from my representative. And so there was just a lot of back and forth going on, and I had to try to solve this problem on the fly because I wasn't able to get anything going. So that was a problem. And it's a cliche nowadays, especially when everyone works with their web browsers and things like that. But whenever you're having a problem with your browser and someone says you need to clear your cache, you ever hear that one? Clear your cache. So it's whatever the cache is, like files that get saved whenever you visit a website. That it'll save the information so it doesn't have to download it later. It's kind of a time-saving thing, but it has a cost to it. So just to explain, like with cache, if you are a user who's on a website that likes to update itself frequently, like a news website, sometimes the cache might hurt you because it may potentially either load old stuff that's no longer relevant, or it may just prevent you from loading things because it keeps trying to use the cache over whatever is new and current. Anyway, with that being said, cache works the same way in, surprisingly, Adobe Premiere CC 2018. Yeah, I don't even know how Adobe Premiere decides to use cache to save things, because the way I look at it isn't video different every time you edit it? It doesn't make any sense. But it turns out that I was getting disk errors while trying to edit a video, and I'm going, what are you talking about? The video's right there. I even pointed the right file path to it and everything. And no, it decided, nope, you still have an error. I don't want to budge. This isn't cool. So I actually found out that Adobe Premiere has a cache that it uses when working with video. That makes absolutely no sense, but I guess it's probably for speed purposes or whatever. I had to go in, and it said, oh, okay, yeah, if you want to clear cache, you just have to go to this menu button and then click this preference and then click this setting and then click clear. So I go ahead and do that, then restart Premiere, and nothing works. Going, this is not cool. And so I'm thinking, okay, is it clearing the cache or is it not? So I decide to look a little further, Google a few things, and it turns out that there is a folder for the cache. I said, okay, I knew there was a folder for the cache. That's how that works with Chrome. And it's hidden. So I said, okay, Windows, I need you to unhide these files. Let's go look at this folder. Oh, nuts, you've got to be kidding me. It didn't even touch the cache. Delete everything. 29.3 gigabytes later, I restart the program. And lo and behold, it works like it never even remembered anything because I told it to forget. Go figure, right? So Adobe Premiere works. Got that going. It took about 3 or 4 extra hours to get the video to the client, but you know what? It's just one of those things. I seem to be cursed when it comes to videotaping lacrosse for some reason, but it seems like Adobe Premiere and me and lacrosse just don't seem to mix the first time around. But I was able to bend it into shape, and I think we don't have a problem anymore, so I'm okay with that. But that was pretty much Sunday, with rat cleanings and things like that, and learning that adding to my little rat boys. For the first couple weeks, if you've been on Instagram, I adopted or fostered permanently, I guess that's the term now, two boys that had special needs diets, and they're very fluffy and fuzzy and like a lot of vegetables. So I've had to adjust my feeding schedules for these guys and add a lot more vegetables to the diet. And this week it's strawberries. I'm adding the strawberries to the mix here. And that was really nice. I had to clean the cage for the first time since I adopted them and brought them home. And so I decided to give it a shot and see what would happen if I took the cage and took off the separation and allowed all of the boys to free roam and communicate with each other and all that stuff. And so far so good. No one's really fought each other. No one has any issues. We'll see what happens. I'll just have to see what happens with food portions, because since I have to feed 4 boys, there's always the one rat that likes to eat everything. But all I can hope is that everything he eats are veggies, and then that should take care of the tub problem that we often encounter because everyone's hungry. So, as I had mentioned, the 2 rats that I picked up, Lou and Flanders, were all fed human food for the better part of their lives, and so my duty is to make sure that they live out the rest of their lives on a healthier diet, so that they can at least lose a little weight or be a little healthier. With that being said, so that is the long and short of it for the ratties. Good stuff. But it's just me in the car today. Just a lot of driving and moving around. But I'm hoping that my bike returns within the next week, 2 weeks. We'll see where the workflow is. The shop I take my bike to is a pretty small shop in relation to other dealerships in the area. So the amount of techs that they have on staff is pretty small, and it happens. So, but that's why I have a car. It's okay. So if you're watching, hope you're having a good day today. It's a little early. I usually, on average, will do these broadcasts anywhere between 6:30 and 7-ish, depending on my mood. I still have not figured out how to do it on my motorcycle, though, without it being all shaky, because one of the biggest things about doing the live broadcast like this is that I can't tether a cell phone to my GoPro 5, and if I could, then this would be amazing, and I could do commentary as I'm riding, as in live commentary as I'm riding. I know that I can already do commentary on my bike, but it has to be put into post-production and then sent out, so there's a bit of a delay in the way that things are happening. So, on the fly, off the cuff kind of stuff like this, you really can't do it on a bike yet, but I'm hoping that there will be a solution soon, because Facebook Live, I think, is going to evolve to another level, to where you can easily tether on the fly from your mobile device an external camera to enhance the video quality as you're talking. At least at the bit I have a microphone, and that's perfect. And I can just talk while I drive and not really think about much else. So up for this week, if anyone is interested, I'll just throw ahead all the way to Saturday, because, Friday and Saturday. If you're a night owl on Friday, Toyota Sports Center, I will be at Toyota Sports Center for a 10:15 game. This is a 10:15 p.m. game, so it's the late night, would you like a nightcap with your curly fries at the bar kind of game. So 10:15 to about 11:30, that's going to be game number 1. Game number 2 is special request, and I'm really actually pretty excited about this one. I was asked by a friend / longtime teammate of many years, who's also a USC alumni / employee, staff member, to cover in goal for the USC women's ice hockey team at Paramount, Iceland at 3:45 p.m. on Saturday. This is going to be, it's an exhibition game. Actually, all of their games are exhibition games because they're not in a league. But I was asked to return and play one game to help them out. The USC women's ice hockey team is playing a 16 and under girls team that is up and coming, and because of the varied level of the players on the USC women's ice hockey team, it usually ends in a drubbing, and I'm being put in a position where I just have to do my best and try to reduce the amount of bleeding. They didn't do too badly on Saturday. From this particular Saturday that they played an exhibition at Paramount, they only lost by 8, so that wasn't too bad. It actually started looking like a rugby match rather than a basketball game, so I guess that was a good thing. So that is, I'm already looking forward to Saturday. Monday night is going to be a very long night. Gonna make it through though. Hope that everyone makes it through their nights. You know, the Rats have a huge salad in front of them as I left the house this morning, and lots of water, so I think they're going to be okay. Hopefully they will get to know each other a little bit better, and my poor boy Patch stops itching. I know I have to shout out to Gabby for helping me last night, administering a dose of ivermectin on that poor guy, because he was itching horribly. Yes, if you've heard ivermectin before, it is the same stuff that they use on cattle and pigs and dogs for heartworm treatments and to prevent any other parasite infections. And yes, it is used on rats too, but because I'm using 1% grade ivermectin, I only need to put a single drop on the rat, and I have a vial of 50 milliliters of this stuff. It's kind of funny. But yeah, rats need ivermectin too. Learning quickly that as get older and all the varied animals we have and everything, they all have issues, and there's a medication for that. I was told at one point that I might have to put the rats on Revolution, and I'm really not putting the rats on Revolution. That stuff's expensive. I have to get the kitty grade of it, for a single drop. But I'm going, no. I'll stick with the good old-fashioned ivermectin that seems to work well. Just keep an eye on it and see if it'll help reduce the amount of sneezing and misery that the poor guy has about itching himself all the way to nudity. That's an issue. He was losing fur and itching himself to the point that he was getting bald spots everywhere. Not cool. So, hoping that's not the case. So, reaching the part of the 91 that's kind of slow. Once you get past the 605, you start to get humbled really quickly. I'm also hoping that I don't, I'm trying to keep myself within good speed limit, because last week on Tuesday, I ended up getting dinged for a speeding ticket, even though everyone else was doing the same speed. Of course, because I was the motorcycle who decided to ride in 44 degrees. It wasn't fun. So I'm not really in the mood to get a parking speeding ticket this week. So gotta fight that darn thing off. So anyway, that's pretty much what's been going on. In addition to enjoying National Margarita Day and excuse me, and other things. I hope you had a good margarita. Said it's about a third of the way through the semester, and I'm just trying to get through life. Really big shout out there. Grateful to all the friends that have been out there and being supportive and being all cool and just being an ear to talk to, and I'm very grateful for that. It's been a bit tough. I could explain further, but you'd have to PM me. But on a bright note, if you are alive, 85 degrees coffee. Go get your medium, hot or iced 85 degree coffee for 85 cents today. That's also another my motivation for leaving early, other than avoiding the traffic here on the 91. I want my coffee. It's really today's warranting for it. So. Aside from that, not too much going on. I know that there's been a lot of talk about what's been going on at the schools right now with violence and choices and all sorts of things like that. And I'm not going to get too political on this one because it's just not my place. I'm not as big of a soapbox person as, but you speak a lot. I'm like, yeah, but most of my stuff is about senseless banter and things that can be argued but not really. Like, why didn't you ride to work today? I'm like, well, I mean, I have excuses for that. They're not excuses, they're not justifications, they're personal choices. I guess it's all how you say it. But everything's so far, no real known issues at my district. I'm hoping it stays that way because last thing I really need is other issues of kids feeling unsafe and things like that. And it really broke my heart. I remember after the Florida incident, I had a student who asked me if the glass that was being replaced in my library was bulletproof. And that really broke my heart. I'm all like, no, we're getting another copy of Dogman. That's what's going on. I'm getting about a bunch of new books. That's how it's going to go down. No, for some reason that seems to be the thing now, and it's really sad. But as long as, like I said, I really have to just be concerned about what goes on in my own district and just make sure that all the kids are safe. I have to control what I can control and just make sure that everyone follows proper safety protocols. It's really the best you can do. So, other than that, it is just the way life is. Can't control a lot of things. People will make decisions, sometimes not very good ones, or they'll make decisions without you giving an opinion, and you just have to go with it. I think I just summarized my month in probably the most vague way possible. But I have a few miles to go anyway, just approaching the Buena Park region. But there is that. Oh yes, and before I forget, on to Will Tourist, and I'm hoping to get this done pretty soon. But I did edit a vlog that I did while I was riding on Eleanor. This was right before she hit the 200,000 mile mark. And I'm hoping to put that on the blog pretty soon. And getting that squared away. That took a little bit of editing because it was a 55-minute ride that had to be cut. All of the empty time that I wasn't speaking had to be cut down, so that brought it down to about 34 minutes or so. So I will have that posted soon, and it will be on my wall, social media, because I have no other life outlets at the moment because I'm busy as hell. But when you gotta get the life thing done, you gotta get the life thing done. So anyway, stop and go, hooray! So aside from that, it's another day in the neighborhood. Sometimes I'm just really glad that these Monday nights where I have to meet in class only happen once a month. I'm okay with that. Most of my interactions with school are online, but at the same time, though, I still have to be able to balance that among all of the other parts of life, like work and self-care and all that stuff. Behind me in the trunk of my car is the bicycle I had tuned back up that I picked up on Saturday. I still haven't pulled it out of the car yet. But hey, I got an emergency bicycle if anything happens. I'll take that. It's like, hello, Knott's-Berry Farm. Nice to see you again. I mean, with a car, the drive to Orange County is always going to be longer. It doesn't matter if what time of the day I go. It's always being in the car by myself. I don't get the carpool lane, so it's a bit. It takes a little longer, but maybe that's just gives a nice platform to do banter like this, because there's really nothing else I could be doing right now. I mean, I know some people are pretty crazy. They put on makeup, they cook omelets, they crochet. I think the weirdest thing that I've seen someone do while they were driving was play the guitar. I can't even explain like why that was even a thing. So for me, it's hooking up a lavalier mic to myself and jabbing away while my phone is, put on, mounted on my Vantier. Yeah, it's a bit safer than macrame while driving. If you do that, though, I'll be thoroughly impressed. I mean, you need, it's kind of like the same thing of trying to text while driving stick shift. That's about the equivalent of it. So, anyway, that being said, I'm approaching the 91.5 freeway here. I still got a little bit of a ways to go because I'm aiming for the 57 freeway, ultimately, as my exit here, so that I can get to coffee. But I hope that you guys have a pretty good rest of the day here. I'll be online. I'll be around, posting all the rando stuff that I normally do. Stay safe out there. I hope your Mondays are not very long. Oh gosh. Well, hi Tracy. Well, I'm really glad that you're getting, one of your. I'm really glad that you're getting one of your favorite schools to assign. This morning I'm starting at one of my not so favorite schools, but the good news is Monday is half day, which means that it's the only day that I split sites, and so I spend the first part of my morning until about 11:30-ish at this first site, and then I move to the school I actually like better for the remainder of the day, where it's actually kind of slow, and I'm going to be okay with that. I'm still trying to wake up. I think talking through this is probably the best way that I can get through, just the commute. I understand that the commute is long. I know I've been asked, hey, are you ever going to move closer to Fullerton? But the moving is a whole different topic. I'm not even going to go there. But I will say, though, that even though it is a bit of a long drive, the extra commute is definitely worth the severely reduced anguish that I once dealt with not so long ago. So I think sometimes you just have to take the good with the bad. But anyway, maybe I should put a griddle next to me and just like live stream. It's like, what are you doing? I said, I'm on the 91. I'm also making pancakes. Would you like some? I don't think it works that way. But it is what it is. Anyway, I'm hoping that if I have a little bit extra time, I can try to get some fun activities going here. I'm still looking for people to airsoft with. So if anyone wants to airsoft, let me know. I have extra accessories. Yes, definitely. I'm still half awake, but the day is moving nicely. I will get through it. I will have to deal with all of the weird emails that I will check as soon as I get there. But hey, it's still better than what I had before. Even sitting here questioning life while live on Facebook with while sitting on the 91 is still better than what I had before. So I'm good. So currently just squeezing past the 91.5 here. My next destination being the 57. It seems like at this rate I could probably turn on my Pokemon Go game and hatch an egg while I'm sitting here, but oh well. Anyway, I'm going to I'll let you guys go here. My half awake self trying to figure out staying alive here and awake. But hope you guys have a good rest of the day. Be good to each other. It's all we can do now. Be a good example to everyone, especially those little kids. Be good to the little kids, please. I will check y'all later.